Type 1 diabetes, which is also known as juvenile diabetes or insulin-dependent diabetes, is a chronic condition in which the pancreas produces little or no insulin, which is a hormone that's needed to allow glucose to enter cells to produce energy. Many factors can contribute to type 1 diabetes, including genetics and exposure to certain viruses. In most people with type 1 diabetes, the body's own immune system, which normally fights harmful bacteria and viruses, mistakenly destroys the insulin-producing cells in the pancreas. Insulin is a hormone that comes from the pancreas, a gland situated behind and below the stomach. The pancreas secretes insulin into the bloodstream.
Oh, hello there! This is Kid President. Today, we have a big matter on our hands. Diabetes. Now, some people like to pronounce it diabetes, but it's not. It's pronounced diabetes. When you eat food such as Doritos trademark, it goes from your mouth to your esophagus and to your stomach, where the food is digested, and the liver and the pancreas both help to digest your Dorito that you've just eaten.
The pancreas makes insulin to regulate the body's blood sugar levels and passes the insulin from the blood into cells for conversion to energy. Lack of insulin results in the inability to use glucose for energy or to control the amount of sugar in the blood. Though it seems that diabetes is inherited through simple dominance of a mutated gene, the American Diabetes Association has performed tests with identical twins who share the same genetic code. One twin may have had diabetes, the other may not, though they share identical genes. This doesn't back the idea that there is any form of inheritance such as simple dominance, as two otherwise genetically identical organisms do not in fact share this gene. Although they are not totally sure, researchers are fairly certain that diabetes is caused by mutation on chromosome 6.
You inherit a predisposition to diabetes type 1 when something in your environment triggers it. One trigger might be viruses. Perhaps a virus that has only mild effects on some people triggers type 1 diabetes in others. Early diet may also be a role. Type 1 diabetes is less common in people who are breastfed than those who ate solid food at later ages. The history of diabetes. Since the 1500s BC, there are recordings of a mysterious disease with the symptom of frequent urination, which is also a symptom of type 1 diabetes. The name diabetes was made in 250 BC. Diabetes means to go through, as it relates to the frequency of urination. In 1776, a distinction between type 1 and type 2 diabetes was made. Those who died quickly were the ones who had type 1, and those with chronic issues, but not fatal issues, had type 2. In 1798, excess sugar was found to be in the blood of those who allegedly had diabetes. From 1898 to 1921, experimentation with the lack of a pancreas and the insertion of insulin, not from the same body, takes place. In 1923, insulin is marketed. In the late 1940s, urine tests are how glucose levels are measured, contrary to how blood is used to measure nowadays. In 1964, however, the blood sugar levels are the first to be read. In the 70s, insulin pumps are developed, and in 1993, sugar tablets are introduced for the public as a way of getting instant glucose.
Diabetes can limit those who have it because the disease requires constant supervision, especially when working out. Working out requires cells to produce energy, which comes from sugar and therefore needs insulin. Without this insulin being produced, the blood sugar drops, leading to the symptoms that are oh so uncomfortable, as well as possibly death.
In type 1 diabetes, the body does not produce insulin, leading to dangerously high blood sugar levels. Signs of high blood sugar levels include excessive thirst and tiredness, blurry vision, and sudden weight loss, frequent bathroom visitations. Signs of low blood sugar include blurry vision, rapid heartbeat, mood changes, nervousness, fatigue, and loss of consciousness.
Other limitations include the necessary wearing of a meter, which gives life-saving insulin. Though one with diabetes has complications with his or her life, their quality of life isn't considered to be different than those without the disease. The only difference is the constant maintenance of blood sugar levels and a slightly shorter life expectancy, with about 11 years cut off. There's no complete treatment for type 1 diabetes. However, with a meter, coping with diabetes is easier. A meter alerts the owner when his or her blood sugar is quickly dropping or rising, and when the person reaches a level lower or higher than healthy. Additionally, the meter is attached to an injected small tube that, when authorized to be needed by the owner, allows the flow of insulin from the meter to the bloodstream.
To know if insulin is needed when the blood sugar is high or if sugar is needed when it's low, the diabetic tests their body glucose level by pricking themselves with a needle, much like one found at the doctor's office during a finger prick. There is not a known way for the prevention of a disease due to the fact that it's genetically inherited.
In the U.S., Caucasians seem to be more susceptible to diabetes than African Americans or Latinos. Additionally, people who live in colder climates get diabetes more often than those in warmer climates. South Americans and Asians have a lower risk of developing the disease. 29.1 million people have either type 1 or type 2 diabetes. That's about 1 out of every 11 people. Out of the 29.1 million people who have diabetes, 1 in every 4 does not know that they have diabetes. People who have diabetes are at a higher risk of serious health conditions such as blindness, kidney failure, heart disease, stroke, and loss of toes, feet, or legs. More than 18,000 youth are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes each year. In adults, type 1 diabetes accounts for approximately 5% of all diabetes cases.
Did you know that 1.3 million Americans are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes?
Nick Jonas has type 1 diabetes as well.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
I urge you to donate to Cured to find a cure for type 1 diabetes.
Diabetes gets me down with my blood sugar and my glucose levels. So sad. Diabetes.